All right, guess we on. Let's get this a little bit closer. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do here, guys, as a spiritual healer, I simply help people to become well, not well. Because yes, I simply help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. And when I say that, what I'm referring to pretty much is helping you to become Christ-like, or Krishna-like, or even Buddha-like. Because all, or let's just say the Christ, all of that represents is anybody who have attained a certain level of consciousness. And if you know anything about the Jesus story, the Siddhartha story, who later on became the Buddha, Jesus who became the Christ, there's always a certain trial and tribulations that they had to overcome for them to actually attain that title. You could see the difference in these people from, how they started and to and to what they become. And that's what becoming, or attaining your highest level of consciousness is. And that's what that and pretty much that right there represents the journey of any one of us who in somehow some way started tapping into who they are, and then at this point you start to acknowledge the spirit in you, and then you become born again, and from there you evolve and you become the Christ consciousness. It's a level. It's and that's what I help you with. Now, how do I help you to get there? I simply help you to get there by pretty much helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And what that means pretty much, and why is it even important for you to be mentally and emotionally balanced? Well, I mean, if either one of them is not balanced, then your perspective is going to be one-sided. If you're too logical, you suppress your emotions. You become one sided. You become very rigid. You're missing out on a lot of small things. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like small things. You tend to forget that we are all the same. You're very logical. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you never seen anybody who been through certain shit and not having any compassion for someone else who's probably in the same predicament as they were once in. Well, that's because they became very logical, very judgmental. A little bit of emotion would allow you not only to have, well, that's because that person doesn't even have any compassion for themselves neither. Anyway, that would be it. But I guess it was necessary for me to actually mention that. Again, this is also reflecting, it's you. I mean, that's the whole key. No matter what you want out there, it's starting you. But anyway, that's for another that was just the gem of the day. You're welcome. It's on the house. You know what I'm saying? Keep the change. Um, but going back to the conversation at hand here, referring to why is it, I mean, you got to be mentally and emotionally balanced. Or if you're too emotional, you know how you tell somebody, man, I think you're being a little bit emotional. And just by you mentioning that, it's because you're saying they don't fully have the full picture. Because you're too emotional, it doesn't allow you to see the big picture. So again, this is just to show you, it's important for you to attain your highest level of consciousness now, to become your best version. You would have first to, what I'm saying, you would have to, I mean, mind, body, and soul, you would have to be first in alignment with you. Then you grow from there. And to be honest, I mean, I mean, well, that's not the journey, but because you're going to have to, as you being born again, you're going to have to learn how to talk again, to walk again. But anyway, that's down the line. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much what I do, and that's how I do it. Now, when I'm talking about being emotionally balanced, this is what I want you to understand, right? I'm not talking about here, let's just say, for most people, it's like, it's not to raise your voice, or maybe, you act a certain way. I mean, that that is totally against what I'm saying here. I mean, if that's what you had in mind, or I mean, well, obviously I'm not sure what you have in mind, but I mean that's not dealing with your emotion here. This is mostly like deceiving yourself. But being emotionally balanced is not to suppress your emotions or not to pretend or to pretend certain things. No. What that means or what that is or what I help you with truly is for you to acknowledge your emotions. And that the whole process of acknowledgement means pretty much you would have to understand what your emotions are because they are energies. And with an energy, there's something called, I mean, it's intelligence. So there's messages. Then you have your emotional patterns. Like when you get hurt, there's a message in it. There's a certain, because it shapes you too. That's why if you put your hands in the fire, you got burned once, you probably wouldn't do it again. So, but again, all I'm saying is, I mean, you felt something, so your emotions, you're dealing with all of that. There's a pattern. Then you're gonna create an emotional pattern. So now for you to become emotionally balanced, you would have to be aware of these things, and you would have to understand and cater to your emotions. That's truly what it is. And being emotionally balanced too doesn't mean you not raising your voice. This is now you do it at your own liberty. You're doing it at your own time, at your own sake. Like I always tell people, like, I may choose, like just like the famous, I mean, this is the famous phrase that I really like. Sometimes you gotta let a nigga know. It's just one time. You know what I'm saying? They said, I'm not worried about you, but let me let you know what this is. You making your statement freely, expressing yourself without any grudges, any back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is you being fully, and you may choose not to answer. I'm saying that to say being emotionally balanced has nothing to do with deceiving or not, what I'm saying, or not raising your voice. But truly, what it comes down to, it's you mastering your own emotions. You acknowledging, knowing how to deal with your emotions, knowing what your emotions are telling you, and knowing how hurt you are, and in the process for you to fix yourself. Because in the whole process of being emotionally balanced is for you to acknowledge your emotions, understand your emotional patterns, and if there's any blockages, which in most cases will be, for you to actually remove them. And that's what you do, by the way, when you go see a shrink or if you go to a marriage counseling. I mean, that's pretty much what I mean. The therapist or the shrink is actually helping you with, for you to acknowledge those early emotions. How did that make you feel? And if you felt that way, how did that feeling shape your thinking at that time? Because a lot of us, we were pretty much shaped that way. Something happens early on in our lives, it shaped our mind a certain way, and we've been acting that way since. You will not have the full picture if you are emotionally damaged, because as you can see, there's a direct connection to from your emotions to your intellect. If you're depressed, you're not going to make the best decision. Sorry to say, or maybe not sorry to say. And and in addition to that, when I'm talking about helping you to become mentally balanced, it's pretty much the same baseline understanding, right? In terms of, now you have to understand how your mind works. That's your responsibility. In fact, a lot of what we're gonna be talking about tonight, I mean, it's gonna be about your responsibility to you, pretty much. Because the truth is, we are all accountable for ourselves. Do you see what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too much ahead of myself here because I'm going to get to that. And, but again, going back to being mentally balanced, you have to understand how your minds work. But most importantly, you would have to understand how your mind is being shaped, is being conditioned for you to think. And for you to understand that, then you would have to understand your culture. You would have to understand the society that you're living in. Because a lot of those different institution, is shaping you to think a certain way. So for you to be mentally balanced, it's you being in control of your own mind. And for you to do that, you can't have someone else, controlling your mind and you're saying, like it doesn't make sense. So just to summarize pretty much, as a spiritual healer, that's pretty much what I help you with. So I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. The way I help you to do that now is by becoming mentally and emotionally balanced. And that's pretty much it. And I mean, in fact, it's a whole lot because, I mean, because you're dealing with psychological things. You're dealing with, having a deeper understanding of things, right? We're also talking about an open heart here too, because your heart has to be open to a certain level for you to be receptive to it too. And that's why we call this knowledge some sort of esoteric knowledge, because it's dealing with a deeper side of you that you would need to be open to, for you to. But anyway, that's pretty much what I do. So if you coming back, what's going on? It's definitely a great. You already know, baby. Let's stop playing. Come on now. Come on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Get your smoke. Get your drink. You know what I'm saying? I do it for you. You know what I'm saying? And for you too, But I do it for everybody who's open to receive this. How about that? But those of you who came back, it's a special thing because, you know what I'm saying? It's for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your medicine. Now, um, and of course, it's all love, guys. As is exactly what we do here. And as you can see, the conversation in itself, it's love. Because that's the type of message that would allow you to open up to yourself and for you to love who you are. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a win-win for you. Now, if you listen, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man, this is for you. Giving you your flowers, baby. You know what I'm saying? Giving you your flowers. But as you have your lovers, you also have your haters too. Now, to my haters, man, listen. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to admire me from afar. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you're hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's between you and yourself. You feel me? But anyway, again, welcome. I do it for y'all, for all of you. Now, as part of my process, guys, especially if this is your first time, and if you're coming back, you already know, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So, if this is your first time, as part of my process, I normally take a second to talk about spirituality. And the reason why I do that, as a spiritual healer, spirituality is the background it's the backbone of this conversation. I wouldn't be able to talk about it without spirituality. So, with that being said, it's always right. It's only right, that I, break it down to you for you. At least tell you what I think that shit is, or I'll tell you what that is to me, right? So, ooh, excuse me. All right, that's that spiritual burp, baby. Um, so now, to make a long story short, guys, when we're talking about spirituality, spirituality is just a story of spirit. It's the story of humanity. It is your story. It is our story. It is my story. It is everybody's story. Like, because spirituality pretty much embody all religions, all ways of thinking, philosophy, all of that shit. It's all part of spirituality, because spirituality as a whole is pretty much telling you about us, how we process information, how we learn, and all of that good jazz. Now, and it's really telling you about you, because no one who's talking about spirituality, I mean, they're not talking about aliens, man. Like, it's us people. You know what I'm saying? Then in the process of it, some of us get to become spiritual, and what that is at this point we get to acknowledge the spirit in us. We get to acknowledge, the divinity or the God qualities in us. Then at that point, some of us now at this point, we become awakened, right? So we understand how important it is to have our third eye open, because now we become receptive to energy, which is messages. That's how you get your downloads. That's why you meditate on certain things. Now you fully get to understand, you have a better understanding of who you are. So when you become spiritual now, you become aware of who you are, because as you can see, anyone who's talking about spirituality, they're just telling you about a deeper part of us, which is you, which is me. Just like when we're talking about the law of manifestation, it's not something that only a certain individual can do. It's something that we all do. Let me rephrase. It's something that we were already doing. You know it's nothing new, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's so not new. That's why they will tell you the ancient people, they knew that. So there's nothing new. In other words, we've been doing it as a human race. Again, so when we're talking about spirituality, discovering those divine things about you, it's just your regular life. It's just you now having a deeper understanding of that, or becoming a little more aware of who you are. Because when you strip everything away from you, whether you want to do it logically, you want to do it however you want to do it, then you understand that us, human being, there is more to us than just, let's just say, dick and pussy. That is why, for you to thrive as a person, for you to become a better person, you take care of this physical body, and you also will need to take care of your non-physical self, or your mental part. And there's a famous phrase that Jesus said, men should not lead. You know it better than I. Damn. You know it better than me. Essentially, what Jesus was saying, I can't. I mean, I can't recall the actual verbatim, but essentially, what he was saying is, man also has to. I mean, you also have to leave. Based. I mean, you can't live off just bread and wine. This is also telling you have to live from, everything that comes out of God's word, pretty much God wisdom. This is also another way of saying feeding your mind, learning more about your non-physical part. And I want you to picture that even in your life. Because for you to become a better human being, whatever the fuck it is, for you to thrive, for you to become more complete as a person, or for you to tap into a certain aspect of yourself, well, it's required of you that you do a little bit more than just dick and pussy. Maybe pick up a book, and we all do it regardless. That's why we do so many different things. You go out on vacation. Well, when you go out on vacation, I mean, you may look at it as something physical, but there's a part of you, a joy, a vacation. Man, listen, you get to release yourself. I mean, there's a lot of us that is more than just. Do you see what I'm saying? Even that relaxation aspect of you, this release part. I mean, that's where you're I mean, your body. There's more to you, like, than just your physical self. There's other aspect of yourself that you also have to fulfill for you to thrive, even as a human being. So I'm saying that to say, I'm trying to tell you this is what Jesus said, right? And I'm trying to humanize it or trying to materialize it before your eyes so you could see, like, this is not something that is being said for, let's just say, religious people. If you religious, then you could take it that way. But if you understand, because this is an esoteric knowledge, meaning it's not meant to be taken literally, so the underlying understanding here is that you need more than that. So therefore, what this is talking about here, this is pretty much, the whole understanding of what spirituality is all about. It embraces all of it. So the misconception that comes out of spirituality that a lot of people has pretty much is that you a lot of us think it's outside of you. And just like I was referring to the Bible just now, a lot of other people now at this point they also look at it as a religious thing. Whereas spirituality goes beyond all of it. It embodies all of that. I see. Mm-hmm. Aye, boo boo. So now, to make a long story, like, if you understand everything I just said, pretty much spirituality is just your regular life. Now, a lot of us become spiritual now when we start to acknowledge a lot of the subtle things around us. When you start to look at this reality from beyond the veil, look around you. We have fucking electricity. Is that air that you breathe in? So again, this is to show you there is more even to our environment than what it appears to be. I mean, we are the mystery of all mysteries, man. The Indian called this world Maya. And what that is, pretty much, it means, illusion. And an illusion, it means it's not what it appears to be. See, that's what makes this life a mysterious life. The same spice that we eat and you put in your fucking food, guess what? You can also use it to do magic too. It's just to show you, and those are fucking ingredients. Like when you eat certain things, the way they break down into your body, it's more than what it appears to be. Everything around you, to be honest, is fucking energy that you're dealing with. Isn't that what we need to digest? You need energy. That's what you call calories, right? Your body as a whole, there's more to your body than what it appears to be. Then you have your spirit that lives in this body. When the spirits separate from the body, that's what we call death, right? So again, when we're talking about us and those stories that you hear, people are talking to dead people, or or ghosts or spirit. I mean, this shit do fucking exist, bro. So again, this is mysterious. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing paranormal. I mean, all of this shit is normal. Like, there's no paranormal or superficial or supernatural shit here. The whole thing is fucking supernatural. And that again, if you understand the nature or the essence of our environment or even ourselves, then you understand there's more to you than what you look like. Even when we talk to other people, right? We're trying to get to know people. Yes, you know what they look like, but you want to know their character. You know what I'm saying? We have just like a hater, right? You don't know a hater is a hater because of what they look like, but it's through their personality, how they think, and vice versa. So therefore, even for you to know somebody, you got to go beyond what they look like already. So that's why for me, I have adopted a Godhead mentality, meaning when I approach someone, I know I'm dealing with spirit. So from the jump, I already know how I'm coming. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say again, when we talking about spirituality, that's your regular life, man. But out of ignorance, because we're not in touch, you don't truly know who you are or the essence of who you are, or you were trained to look at yourself only from a physical perspective. You know what I'm saying? So much so, you might. I'm guessing if you're listening, maybe you know a little bit about spirituality, but for most cases, motherfuckers like, man, they get the fuck out of here. That's your life, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's our lives. And when you listen to what everybody's telling you, you got to move by faith. You got to do this. Don't give up and all that shit. All of that is what spirituality is all about. This is all about your story. This is all about how this earth works. Then now a big part of spirituality now you have what is called the occult, or anything that is sealed, the hermetic, even the Bible, all of those esoteric now books. What they represent now, they are pretty much giving you the manual for you to understand or to have, they give you the knowledge of the dark side, meaning they help you to acknowledge or to understand the things about you that you don't see or that are not visible. As an example, and I always use this, some of the basic things. Let's just say if you're gonna read, a basic occult book, some of the basic shit they will teach you is about your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. They'll let you know the subconscious mind is under the conscious mind. It's there, but you're not conscious of it. But by them trying to bring your conscious to acknowledge it, they taking it out of the darkness, they bringing it in your forefront for you to see now. And that's what you're doing when you start to acknowledge your dark side. You are awakening anything that was dormant in you. And that's part of the process of the awakening. But I'll get to that. Or maybe I should talk about it. Anyway. I'm just trying to get you to get the picture, the full picture. And just so you guys know too, because I know I talked about religion, the true meaning of religion, so you know, it just means God consciousness. Meaning, when we talking about God consciousness as a religious man that I am, but not what people mean or what people are talking about when they refer to it in today's or in current age. What that is, it's exactly what I'm doing here, which is getting you to acknowledge the non-visible part of you by making it physical. That's why any holy men, any men who have attained the Christ consciousness, their job, we have to show it to you. We show it to you not just through our knowledge, but through our personality, what we stand for, our vibration, like, yeah, all that. And that's why I'm here now, to help you to become whole, to become perfect. And that perfection simply means, you being whole, which is the yin and the yin, your higher self, lower self, how your masculinity, your femininity, your mental, your emotions, all of those part of you coming together. And flaws, you have to retrain your mind to look at it differently. In fact, we our the flaws, you never heard how being imperfect, but I mean imperfectly perfect. That's what flaws do for us. That's why, and Christopher Nolan has this line in, I think it's Batman Begin, and I love that line. And ever since I heard it, I kept it. And it was a part where I guess I can't recall. The butler was talking to Bruce, or maybe it was his dad that was telling him, "Why do we fall? We fall so we could get up." So your understanding of what flaws is, there's no flaws. Just so you know, because you fallen is just for you to get up. Just like as a baby, if you didn't keep getting up, you wouldn't be walking. So that's why ain't none of us should be afraid to fail. I mean, you shouldn't be afraid to fall or to fail at all. And there's no failure because even when you don't win, you learn. And this is another, I guess, level of understanding about this reality. For you to attain that level, you would have to see beyond the veil. You would have to truly look at it, but you got to look at it from your Godhead perspective, meaning from a higher state of intelligence. Because the only way any one of us can become better at anything, what do you got to do? You got to keep going. A nigga that plays the guitar every day, that's how you master this shit. And you had to do it every day because it wasn't perfect. You didn't get it at it wasn't a one-time thing. So I'm saying that to say even the idea of people like, I mean, when you adopt the Godhead mentality, you start looking at reality from a whole different perspective. But that entails, you attain a higher level of intelligence too, or inner vision again. But anyway, just to summarize, because we could go pretty much in different pockets here, but ultimately, what this is really truly talking about, when you look at everything, when we're talking about spirituality, or when even we're talking about us, there is more to us than what we look like. I mean, yes, than what we look like, and that is there is more to us, and that more, that's the part we need to fulfill. In the occult, we say what you see is controlled by what you don't see, meaning your personality, your understanding. Those are things that you do not see. And for you to be a better person, that's the part you need to master. So, in so many words, like even in our essence, we're already doing that. Now it's just a matter of the different levels. A lot of us, we tend to just stop there and not going beyond. Well, there's a whole lot more than what this appear to be like. And that's what we do here. That's what I'm doing here. I'm helping you to delve a little bit deeper, meaning I'm giving you a deeper understanding of the ordinary shit that's in front of you. And that's what the occult does. That's the manual. That's where, they tell you about your chakras. Because can you walk around and see what your chakra is? Can you show it to me? And if you cut your body open, you're not going to see your fucking chakras. They talking about center of energy, right? In your heart, these here, those are energy centers. Now, you do see what I'm saying? Like the esoteric part of it. So I'm saying that to say, in so many words, if you don't want to say you are spirit, there is more to you than what you appear to be. And that's what spirituality covers. So in essence, spirituality is you. Out of ignorance, we think it's something outside of us. Out of ignorance, we look at it, we say this is religion, again, outside of you. Because you don't know your essence. Anyway, so now that we got this out of the way, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. And just so you understand too, this whole conversation, it's spirituality in itself, because that's what I'm talking about. Is we're talking about us. But anyway, this conversation we have tonight, man, you are your own best savior or your worst enemy. Now, this is what we all need to understand. And this is where a lot of us, we are being conflicted, because a lot of us do not have a deeper understanding of who we are. So, think about it this way, right? Everybody's responsible for themselves. On a physical level. Hopefully, you are taking showers, you are brushing your teeth. But if you don't do any of that, I'm guessing you do eat, you do sleep. Like, just for your body to function, it requires work. Then now, if you want to have a nice looking body, then you do all the workouts, whatever the fuck we all do, and we eat. Now we're trying to eat healthy. So again, this is all referring to you have to take care of you. So, and that's another reason why too. And in one of my recordings, I was talking about for political bullshit, how people always have a reason. I mean, it's almost like when you devalue yourself, you are being validated. It's like, and I started noticing that it's like, what the fuck? It doesn't make sense. There's no actuality. Even, I mean, shit. If you gotta brush your teeth, you gotta wash your ass, you gotta feed yourself. I mean, you might as well love yourself. I don't see why not, since you're already doing all of that. And if you don't put yourself on a fucking pedestal, I mean, who will? Like, what the fuck? And now to take it a step further now, as I was talking about, like Jesus said, for you now to thrive, for you to be a better version of yourself, besides you washing your ass, eating, do whatever the fuck you do for yourself, right? You also got to feed your mind. That's why when you understand that, your intelligence should only be for you to see God, meaning a higher level of you. But that alone, like that's a realization. I mean, I'm not expecting you. I mean, I know for me, I mean, I truly had to understand it. This is, I know I just said it the way I said it, but it's truly a realization. You got to wake up to that, because then that's the only thing that makes sense. Because if it's what you don't see that control what you see, if it's my personality that makes me a better person, or my intelligence, because we can only go as far as our intelligence, then as much as you are responsible to eat and shit and bathe yourself, you, that should be a priority as well. So it should be your business to want to be smart. I mean, not to sound smart, but to be smart, to understand more, to have a better understanding of anything around you. I mean, it should be your responsibility. But again, when you understand, for you to be your better self, isn't that what we all doing? So again, but going back to the Bible, because I want you to understand, and I always say that to people, the whole purpose of the Bible or the Buddha, whatever esoteric knowledge that you are reading, it's there to serve you. And even God was made in flesh. This is a message for you. This is telling you your divinity should be materialized. If you're learning the knowledge that you get, it should be for you to become wise. Otherwise, what would you even learn anything for? But I'm also saying that to show you that as God was made flesh, your knowledge should be made for you to be wise. Everything we do has to materialize. That's part of our essence. That's why, as a kid, you materialize your dad. That's what you see your parents, not necessarily dad or your parents. That's why they don't listen to you. They automatically, that's what they see. And you later on in life, your understanding now, like I always tell people, if you think money is everything, then you do anything for money. Now, this is not a thought. Like, what that means is it's not having a thought, money is everything. If your level, your pattern of understanding does not go beyond everything you see is cash rules everything around you, but you don't see what's behind cash, because you can't just get cash just to get cash. Do you know anybody who does that? Even if you're stealing, you're not getting cash just to get cash. You do some criminal shit to get it. Oh yeah. Listen, man. There's no way around it. That's no coming out of this one. We all have to face our fucking actions. That's for everybody. Even when you lying to people, people don't see it, but you know it. It's just you lying to you. And watch how your life is just. Oh. So again, now going back to what the fuck was I talking about here? The way we learn, how we operate. That's why, again, going back to our essence, you are a living mind. You want to change your life? What do? Change your mind, man. And you have to fully change. You cannot halfway change. The idea there's a think and grow rich. What this nigga was doing in that book is, or Rich Dad Poor Dad. What these two motherfuckers are doing is helping you to tap into a different ways of thinking. And Robert Kiyosaki did an excellent job too in using the rich dad and the poor dad approach for you to see the mentality, ways of thinking, ways of acting. So you want to change your life? Change your mentality. Adapt that new mentality, and just like you probably had the mentality that you had for a very long time, as you adapt the new mentality, that's what being born again is. Now you're gonna have to learn how to crawl. I mean, if you practicing, let's just say, becoming a rich dad, I mean, nigga, understand, you're not, it doesn't mean you're gonna be rich fucking tomorrow. What you're doing, you adopting a new ways of thinking. And as you're doing that, you thinking that way, you acting that way, then now you on the flip side of shit. Now you become a seller, not a buyer. It's a mentality, because even as you a seller, you still buy too, right? You see, you're still gonna have the polarity in both, but it's a question of the mentality that you have adopted. It's the same thing is the same thing applies in God too. You have to adopt a God mentality for that to be reflected into your life. That's the way you operate. So there's no way, and that's why we need God in our lives. You gotta understand that. I'm gonna get to the, to the conversation later, but sometimes, let's ride, nigga. Let's go for a ride. That's why a lot of Christian or a lot of these people, they don't have a godlike behavior, and their behavior will never be godlike because they don't think godlike. That's why they're not. They have the knowledge, but they have not transformed. Because for you to transform, you have to. It's got to be. You got to become the knowledge. Every transformation that takes place, if you were once a man, I mean once a boy, now you become a man, where the transformation, that occurs it has to go through your consciousness, your understanding. This is not you suppressing the young man in you. No. As a young man, that's what I did. Now, as a man, this is what this is. We're not suppressing any of that. We grow. See, that's why you don't suppress anything. You embrace it. If you're a little boy, enjoy as a little boy. But if you become a man, you also become a man. You don't reject the little boy for being a little boy. In fact, you accept and love the little boy. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm speaking to someone directly here. You probably needed to hear this. For that transformation, it has to go through your learning, thinking, understanding, little brain fucking process. So that's why God, you gotta be God. You gotta be Jesus. That's the only way you're gonna act like him. Otherwise, you just talking about him, and talk is cheap. And that's what you see in your religion, and that's why these people, it's a social thing. Because because if you gonna be like Jesus, nigga, like you listen, you become your own disciples. You become the Christ, and you understand the disciples is you. You carry your own cross, and that type of work, you can't be looking at somebody else and be like, what is she doing? You ain't got time to gossip, man. Because I'm busy transforming. I'm busy living. See, that's why this type of knowledge is the road less traveled. That's what makes it an internal journey, man. And when you follow the Christ in you, or the divinity, whatever the fuck you follow, when you're in that path, how can you imagine you keeping up with the Joneses? Your behavior cannot be that way, bro. Because your whole intelligence and your senses now are wired differently. You became godlike. You're not living a lustful life. And I'm not referring to fucking here. I'm talking about like you when you identify yourself with fucking material. It's the same as fucking. That's like you just looking at an ass bouncing. That's all. That's all it is. I ain't judging. I'm just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a 5-10 minutes. It doesn't last, bro. It doesn't last, bro. Damn. Don't fool yourself, baby. You can easily get lost down here, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gotta stay. Hey, man, your p's and your q's, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay on your toes. It's a slippery slope out here, man. It's the land of the lost. You have to be your own light. Well, you are that. But anyway, going back to the whole conversation, but just to summarize that again, I guess it needed to be said. Also referring to your essence, the whole spirituality shit, the way we operate, the need of God in our life. Because God means everything extra to us. We need God. We all need Him. I can't recall the nigga who he went so far to say if God didn't exist, I would have to create this nigga. And he's right. You know what I'm saying? We have already done that. You know what I'm saying? We have already created God. Tell him not to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to call it exist for real, whatever the fuck, it's all, I mean, all you are referring to is a higher side of you. Whatever your experience is, it's going to be your experience, your connection to it. That's why if I'm a Christian, Muhammad means shit to me. You validate God. And whichever God you choose to validate, you're gonna act like him. You're gonna say all the good shit, Allah and all that. Tomatoes, tomatoes. And again, I look at shit, this is the spiritual perspective of it. That's why for me, and based on everything I just told you, it's I mean, Allah or God don't matter to me. Or both of them matters. Tomatoes, tomatoes. But again, do you get the picture? And according to their God, what they say their God said, you see how their women dress. Your God creates your behavior. That's why, again, and I'll say that again, this is for the great listeners. Mythology is the highest form of mind control. Create your own God, man. You know what I'm saying? Or pick all of them. I mean, I'll take all of them. But again, this is for the great listeners. And if you don't understand this, obviously you may react like I'm against religion or again, I mean, whatever you say. You know but if you understand, then you definitely get it. Then at this point, man, we all need God and God need us. But anyway, going back to the whole being our best savior, and this is important. You know, because at first, when I wanted to talk about this, I had already done a video, I believe, in one of my recordings, where I was saying you are your own enemies. I mean, you are your own enemy. Sorry. But this time, I wanted to approach it from a different perspective. Because, I mean, well, not necessarily because, I mean, it's almost like, how can I say this? It's not necessarily that I talked about it from a negative perspective because we need, and I'm going to be talking about both part of it. But I wanted to emphasize for you to know that you are responsible for yourself. And even if you don't even look at it from that perspective, you are already doing that. Because hopefully, I'm hoping nobody's telling you that you got to take a shower, right? And even the older you get a little bit, then we'll become a little more responsible, even about what you eat, and no matter what you're doing. But ultimately, this is you with you. And what we're saying in spirituality, or, you know what I'm saying, is that, you know, now you understand that, I hope you understand there is more to you than what you look like. And if there's more to you than what you look like, well, the same way that you take your shower, you brush your teeth, it's the same way, and again, that's what Jesus was referring to, that you need to cater to your to the divine aspect of yourself. And as you're doing so, I mean, that's why it's important once you understand that now. That's why your intelligence should be devoted to that higher side of you. I mean, yes, just like you do everything else. You go out, whatever you do, that side of you, I mean, for you to be fulfilled, for you to be, you know what I'm saying, to thrive, to be in your best, like, or to be the best version of you. There's two, you gotta feed I mean, you gotta feed all aspect of yourself. But I'm also saying that to say too, now that you understand that there's a responsibility that you have against yourself, and you can only go as far as you go, that's why it's important for you to understand that you can be your own best savior and also your worst enemy. That's why now, when you're dealing with yourself as the beholder, knowledge is important. Because what knowledge is going to allow you to do now is allowing you, especially dealing with the occult or the esoteric knowledge or God wisdom, however you choose to call it. Because what you're dealing with when you're dealing with any type of divine wisdom, of course, it's reflecting the divine side of you. You know, that's why doing your shadow work, it's important. And you may not call it shadow work, or if you go to church, whatever work you want to call it, if you're looking to repent, I mean, how do you repent if you don't do your shadow work? I mean, it's you know, there's a whole spiritual aspect. I mean, there's a whole deeper understanding to you repenting, because this is referring to you acknowledging certain things in you. And now you're saying you're no longer doing these things and you're changing them. Well, that requires acknowledgement. And we're not saying only, let's just say, following rules here. We're talking about true life transformation. For you to repent, you have to acknowledge certain shit in you. It requires some inner work, inner understanding, you know, your early emotions, how they made you feel, and certain way you reacted, why you reacted that way. Until you understand these things, you will not fully change. That's why true change, you have to go to the root of the problem. And a lot of us, you know, when we don't understand that, but we're looking to change, that's when now you become in your own way. You're looking to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Jesus was saying when he said you don't have fresh wine and put it in old, dirty bottles. If you have some fresh wine, you're going to wash the bottle before you put it in there. You need some fresh bottles. But what a lot of us are doing, even when we're trying to change, we don't get to the root of it. We're putting bandage around what needs to be addressed. And that's why we also say too, when I was talking about being emotionally balanced, until you address these things, man, you know, I mean, you, you won't even, sometimes you act a certain way, you don't even acknowledge it. You don't even know. This is also to show you, it's almost like that acknowledgement that you need to have, that higher thing you need to acknowledge. Well, the little intelligence that you have, that's what you should direct that to. That's why you use your intelligence to meditate. You use your intelligence to speak to God. That's the whole idea of when Einstein was saying You can't solve the problem with the same mind that created the problem. It's almost like then you got to look at it from a fresh pair of eyes. Well, that's what change is. That's what acknowledge. Again, it's all in you too. And that's the beauty of it. And this, listen, we are the mysteries of all mystery. You have the known and the unknown. I know for me, I'm dealing with that on a whole different level. It's almost like the unknown is right here. I could feel it, and I had to learn how to deal with it too. Because as part of you moving by faith, oh, you're going to have to embrace the unknown. And that also allows you to have gratitude too, man. Now, this is a little deeper now. This is when you become godlike at this point. Now you become the knowledge. Now you understand you're dealing with energy, then you're dealing with all of that around you. But anyway, going back to the conversation at hand, a lot of us, we are in our own way, but we can't recognize it. And for the most part, is because you want to change, but you don't want to change, man. I mean, you never seen anybody who went from, let's just say, 300 pounds who lost a certain. Yo, you know what changed about them? Not just their body. Something else had to change first. It was their mentality, man. And that's why I always tell people too, man. Don't worry about willpower, man. Try to align your shit with what you're looking for. That alignment, you never seen. It's always those people who got tired of being fat that always have the most successful rate. I mean, it's always like one day, yeah, I'm tired, man. That's the acknowledgement. That's how they align themselves with something else in them. That day, they tapped into a higher side of themselves that they don't even acknowledge. And it's from that moment on, oh, they became dangerous. Now the motherfuckers waking up early now. You no longer want ice cream. See, that's what you need to tap to in. That's getting to the root of it. And now this motherfucker could, like, even a motherfucker like me, I know I could tell you, yo, dude, I used to pig out, man, like nigga. You know what I'm saying? But today, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, man, this is too much. Oh, I be on my bullshit, man. Nah, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm proud of myself, baby. Excuse me, no, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just get what I need right now. I'll go back if I need more. You know what I'm saying? But there was a time and nigga, it's like, woo. It's just the visual, man. I had that. That's how I knew. That's a fat ass right there. It was in me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to remove that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's still my dog. Like, we still get together. We had to be like, yo, baby, I want you to take a sit right now. You know what I'm saying? We're still gonna chill. We're still gonna enjoy, but we're gonna do it differently. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? So I want you to just come down, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I talk to that side of me. All right, come down, baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're gonna enjoy it differently. Now we use that same perspective, visual, and all that shit. Now we made our food look delicious, and that's it. Y'all has to be much now. It's gonna look good. You know what I'm saying? And besides, and sometimes when I scroll, when I'm on IG and shit, I get my fat ass. I'm like, come here, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is for you, baby. Let's all sit down. You know what I'm gonna sip some water, have some water too, but your eyes enjoy that shit right there. Like, damn. I seen a motherfucker like I'm like looking at this guy's man. There's a guy named Blake too, man. This nigga, like, This guy's incredible. Blake has this diet plan just for fat asses. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas like, listen, man, you're gonna lose weight. You want to eat? Oh, I'm gonna keep you eat. You're gonna keep eating, but you're gonna lose weight. I mean, that's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? But anything just to eat a lot. Like, damn, nigga, let's treat the disease. Can we get to the bottom of it? The fucking addiction. You know, a lot of us being emotional eaters. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, again, you get to the bottom of it. There is more than what we look like. You know, those emotional patterns that are being created in our lives, habits. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to watch what you cook. You know what I'm saying? Then when you become conscious of these things, then you start consciously creating things that will benefit you too. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you definitely like you can't halfway like like the growth, the transformation. You gotta let go. Everything you had in mind, baby, let it go. And a lot of people don't change because they don't let go, and that part they don't let go is next. It's a lot of it. It's who they are, the old self. You see what I'm saying? Now, let me say this. I don't know if this is a Caribbean thing. Well, I am Caribbean myself. Well, precisely. Well, I am Haitian, right? And it was a couple of other Caribbean people that I had conversation with in terms of, their parents, right? It's almost like I was talking to this lady, very good conversation. And again, she was Jamaican, right? But it was just the drama, the responsibility that she felt like she had for her mother, and her mother's been hell in her life. But she replied, "Hey, but that's my mother." Now that type of thing, it's her. I know for me, like, cause I do have a similar situation. I wasn't really raised with my true people, right? So, but see, the thing is, what she doesn't realize. But anyway, going back to me, for me to change, I had to let all of that go. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Bible, Jesus said, right? If your arm is too much, or if it's somehow, let's just say, infected, would you allow it to fuck your whole body up, or are you just gonna chop it off, man? So a lot of us, when it comes to that transformation, I'm saying all of that to say, right? Because I'm trying to show you how a lot of us are in our own way, and we don't even realize it. And as we were talking about that, now going back to me real quick, you know what I'm saying? And making a long story short, man, abuse. People didn't really tell me my true fucking identity, and that shit was done deliberately. I mean, this is, in essence, this is what you call like an organized crime. In a family, they trying to steal my fucking inheritance, send people to kill me. All crazy shit, man. Crazy, crazy shit. Movie shit. You know what I'm saying? The same so-called mother, right? You know what I'm saying? And trying to sabotage everything, working together with my baby mother, other friends against me. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying? Doing like fucking abuse shit. I mean, criminal shit too. I mean, to be honest. I'm saying that to say, for me, I build from it. It's like they threw the stone at me. I built a house with it. Because everything they did, I made myself better with it. So that's why they were not even a match to begin with. That's why all this time they thought they knew me, but they never knew who the fuck I was. So they thought they were like hiding. I was way well. I mean, if you were hiding, I mean, you didn't see me at all, because the whole idea of what they were doing was to make me feel like undesirable, to make me feel depressed. I'm unlucky, just like them. Because they feel like, it's a luck thing. Like they have no choice. Like there's no choice in life. It's like, somebody smacked them. Like, okay. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I guess you're gonna turn the other cheek. But even, that's what I did to them. They smacked me, I turned the other cheek. The other cheek means, somebody smack you, you're not gonna let them smack you twice. This is a fucking esoteric knowledge here. What that means is they when they give you lemon, you make lemonade. She got together with my baby mother. Guess what? I already know this bitch was not my bitch anyway, and which is true. You see what I'm saying? And they got together to work against me because she was never with me anyway. How am I? What am I losing? But I knew that, and I'm like, okay, you can have her. Because you and her, obviously, listen, this is a no-brainer. So everything they may think they took away from me was anything that wasn't good for me to begin with. That's why I never really I didn't cry over spilled milk. Because had she had values in herself, she would have never been with her to begin with. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know. So it's like everything they tried thinking they're going to fuck me up. I say thank you because I see beauty in it. It helped me. But what was also doing for me, because I'm telling you this for a reason, I'm going somewhere with you, how you have to remove yourself out of your own way. Because you can either help yourself, because what I was doing when she was doing that to me with my baby mother going against me, child support and all that shit, fine, good. You know what I'm saying? Squeeze his balls. And this other stupid bitch now following her. Anyway, I was the one that turned the other cheek. I'm like, okay, that's how you're playing. That was dirty. But what was that was doing for me too? It was helping me. I was working in my inner strength. The inner strength, because a lot of us, we accept abuse because we don't have an inner strength. Meaning that's what you're used to. Although you know it's abuse, you go with it because you don't have an inner strength. So for me, when a lot of these things started happening, I started taking my distance. But the more I was being distant, the stronger I was getting because it allows me to process the information better, but also understand that these people are not for me. Do you understand me? Because who do you think your enemy's gonna be? It's not gonna be somebody you don't know, man. It's never somebody you don't know. It's always the people that you know. So think about it. For 42 years, I didn't know anything about my fucking inheritance. Like, you mean to tell me this is not organized? That's organized crime like a motherfucker. And they paid people like, nigga. This is some real shit. These niggas, they used to have fucking meetings all this time. Those meetings was about me. I didn't even know. I was the one being trafficking. Mm. Nigga, I got a story to tell. I got a story to tell, my nigga. If you got give me a minute of your time. Then they hired now. Now she hired a hoe that I knew back in the day that I already know she was. Not only that I knew she was a hoe, I know she hated me too. She was in competition with me. You know what I'm saying? But this bitch didn't think that I knew. I never said anything. In her mind, she was the only one who see me, and yo, everybody think I'm stupid. You know why? Because I'm nice. That's why I always tell you guys, those of you who know who you are, do not change. Let those natural ability. Now, for me, this is how I trap people. Come stick your dick in. I throw pussy all over you. I come in, hi. I show like hi. Come think I'm gay, nigga. Come stick your dick in. That's how you get them. Because it's part of them. Of them. They can't. They listen. Even by me telling you that, they can't control it because they don't know how to be who they are. So therefore, they're not gonna like you. So anybody who's preying on you, because that's what they do, like they observe you looking for witness. Give them the witness. If that's what they think the witness is. Like this bitch that they fucking hire. Well, when I tell you dirty hole, man, fuck the whole community, transgender, like she's gay and all that shit. Like trash, bro, trash. Trash. Like someone I was even trying to help. Well, back in the days, like, think about that. I met this bitch like online and shit. She was hoeing, like she was hoeing, dog. That was my in my fucking days too. I fucked that bitch once, right? And we're talking about I was in my 22, 23. Back then the pussy was bad. That's why I never fucked that bitch again. Back then we're talking about I was 21, 22. So now, but you know, I went along my way, did my own shit. You know what I'm saying? Put all shit past me. You know what I'm saying? But this bitch always hung around me, but not knowing, like, you know, she was using my fucking energy and shit. But she thought it was her magic. But for me, you know what I'm saying? That was around the time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know you a hoe. Let me help you. So this bitch was making fun of me like I was a stupid guy because I was giving her books, man. I'm like, yo, I mean, there's certain things I know I just didn't say. I know a lot that I just, you know what I'm saying? But for them, they hired her because they noticed that I didn't introduce her to the. I think they met. It was probably in my graduation. I mean, graduation. Was it what graduation was that? I can't. I'm trying to remember. Was it? Yeah, I think it was probably my bachelor's. Yeah, it was definitely my bachelor's because I didn't do anything when I got my master's. But anyway, boom. I invited her and shit, but I didn't introduce her. So they thought she was good. Think about this. They thought she was a good person to recruit to go against me. And here's something else too. They use you against you. That's why when you know who you are, when you have no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. Let me say that for you again. These motherfuckers, they thought they had it all this time. So they hired her because obviously, she was the good pick because I didn't really introduce her. So they're like, okay. But also they were fucking using that bitch too. Probably give her like not even a lot of money. I don't know. She's a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? So now this bitch now, think about it, already was in competition with me. Got the money. So now she thinks she's gonna make me fall in love with her. Think about everything I just told you. I already know she's a hoe and all that shit. And this bitch thinks she's gonna play me. Oh man, but she did do a lot of voodoo though. Oh man. And she just didn't know. Even that she didn't know that neither. It's like I'm full of surprises for that bitch. Making a long story short, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's coming to an end too. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of head road. I mean, what I see for them, they don't even know what I see. You know what I'm saying? And me, I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know, everything she did just went back to her. I told her her magic is working. She doesn't know that. She think I don't think she knows it. She's going through her what she asked and she done in her magic shit, but somehow she just doesn't believe it. And there's something else I was. Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. They committed crime too. Uh huh. Anyway, I'm saying that to say, right? If I didn't take my distance, if I didn't start to appreciate myself, being the good savior that I was for myself, for my emotions. Do you see what I'm saying? If I was saying to myself, and because I didn't go into details about, the Jamaican lady that I was actually talking to, right? I didn't go too much into details about what was taking place, but I could tell she suffered a lot, but yet she kept going back to him. She kept going back to her mother, I think, and she's telling me all this foul shit that her mother. And just so you guys know, man, I don't know if this is a Caribbean thing. It's like there's a lot of foul shit that's taking place in fucking family, like family secrets and shit. Like this is a secret that's gonna come. A lot of these motherfuckers gonna go to jail too, man. Old ladies and all that shit. Well, I don't give a fuck about none of them anyway. But see what I'm saying? If I didn't save myself, can you imagine if I was saying, "Oh, that's my mother," and this bitch don't give a fuck about. She sent somebody to kill me, bro. Do you understand? So I'm saying that to say, and here's something else, and I did tell her at that part because I didn't want to, because I have certain abilities. I see a lot of things she's not telling me, but I know it's painful, and I didn't want to bring that up too. But anyway, but what I did tell her, and which is facts, and this is what you guys need to know too, man. When you don't acknowledge abuse, you take it. You don't even see it as fucking being abuse, man. Like a lot of people, a lot of niggas that are living. It's a lot of people that are going through it, but they don't know what the fuck that is. The people that are talking about, oh, I love my mom, I love my dad, I love this, I love that. You know, I love your dad, I love my mom. You know what I'm saying? We need a family. Yes, you do, but regardless, even if your mom and dad is a good mom and dad, you have to put them behind because if you're saying they're good as you're saying that they are, that means they prepare you to be you because that's what great parents do. You know what I'm saying? Not for you, not for them to fulfill themselves through you. No, for you to be you. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you know anything, because I was watching this documentary, this Beyonce documentary, right? Her where her mom and dad had a business. They sold the business to support her dream. Think about it. How many parents do you know would have done that, man? Like shit, bitch. Well, you're gonna have to let that singing career go, baby. It's not working. How many people do you know that shit? Even Caribbean. Why Clef's father kicks this nigga out? You know, with your music shit, get the fuck out of here. Again, so when you do shit like that, it's almost like that's like killing a kid, man. That's a criminal act. A lot of us we don't look at that. That's abuse, man. This is this is you killing the person's dream, the person. This nigga's a fucking musician, dog. That's what the nigga do. You know what I'm saying? And just to imagine how talented this motherfucker is. Can you imagine if this nigga like shit? There's certain song like shit you wouldn't even hear, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think, was it Les Brown? I don't recall who was talking about that. There's a lot of people that has a lot of gifts too, man. They don't get to share these things with the fucking world, because everything shape our lives, man. A good art, a good piece of music, just like I said, it's more than dick and pussy. All of these things, you know what I'm saying? Music plays a big part even in our fucking life, man. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, shit, listen, the whole spiritual aspect of music, don't even get me started. Certain frequencies and all that, again, going back to you, you are more than what you look like. But to go back to you could be and her, when I was talking to her, right? So for me in my situation, because I was my own best savior, I was working everything they was giving me. I was loving myself more. I'm like, okay, no, I know I'm not stupid. That's their decision. What that has to do with me? I was processing all my shit, getting my inner strength. So for me now, when I find out, when I tapping into all these things, it doesn't really bother me because I was already getting ready for it. I didn't know what this was gonna be, but do you see what I'm saying? Because I was already separating my life. I knew, like the last time I saw her, I stayed with the so-called mother. I knew that that was over for me. I knew that I was over with that. And guess what? And all these things happen, nigga. Oh, I can't wait to see these. Oh, you'll see me, baby. Mama. Oh, I'm coming, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Shit, nigga, I'm comfortable, man. And you did all of that shit just for you to go to jail. And everything you think I'm not gonna get, you sure about that? And I'll tell you how it's even better. Because now I'm wiser. You were saving it for me. Thank you. Now I'm wiser, man. Can you imagine? Even if I would have had that money earlier, too, man. The mentality that I have now, I had to go through a couple things too, man. Knowing how to handle my money better too. You know what I'm saying? Because it took me a minute. I had to start applying my accounting skills into my own fucking personal life. You know what I'm saying? Because, dealing with money and, you just got to know how to do your shit. But I'm saying all of that. Do you see how, like, everything's working out for me? They don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I have no scratch on me, nigga. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Oh, listen, they abuse me, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. We're still standing. I ain't going nowhere. You just don't know. They just don't know. Y'all know. Soon, baby. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Soon. Take care, Take care, mommy. Mwah. I love you. Mm. Listen, man. And that was a perfect plan for you guys, right? But anyway, going back to that whole thing, right? So I was working. I became my own savior because I built on myself, started developing my own values. Because again, we're going back to the whole enemy shit. But it's not just that. How do we stop the cycle, man? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did ask her that too, man. But the one thing that I did tell her, and I did, if you accept that abuse, man, you don't say no to it. I know you probably will not admit it to me now, just like I told her. You're doing the same shit to your kids. You are. You don't have to admit it now. You probably don't even think that you're even doing it. You might even black out when you fucking do it. Or you might even see it natural when you fucking doing it. But because you didn't see the value in yourself, you didn't step up against it, you're going to treat your kids the same. How do you stop this? You're not stopping the cycle. But again, because she became emotionally unbalanced, but again, that's what a lot of us are saying to yourself. That's mom, that's mom, that's dad, that's no, no. I understand you want to love them, but you cannot love them. You cannot love them more than you love you, because your love is killing you. So you dying. It's not even fair to you. So that you don't even love them anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, the reality is you truly. I couldn't tell. I mean, I wanted to say you being weak, and that's what it is. You weak. A lot of these people who repeat the cycles, they weak. Can you imagine? It's not just that. Yo, I'm the one who went to college. This bitch didn't like. How the fuck would I allow this bitch to give me knowledge? In fact, they did that on purpose too. They didn't teach me certain things about life. They did that on purpose because they're the one fucking my life up. They're gonna tell me, not, you think they're gonna teach me on how to not to have and not to trust people and shit? Nah, man. It was open season on me. It's using me against me. Do you see what I'm saying? The summer that this bitch sent this other bitch to kill me, she had my daughter and my son playing good grandma, and then there's a whole agenda behind it, and then that whole shit fell. So they saved my inheritance for me. Whatever money they took, they gonna pay it back. Ooh, they don't know. They don't know. I'm getting all of my money back. They save it for me because now, obviously, you know what I'm saying. I'm in a way better state of mind, way better everything. I love these people. Evelyn Leger, I love you. I really do. This is the perfect time. Have I had it earlier? I'm telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably, had a few cars and shit. You know what I'm saying? Spend a few dollars on a few bitches. Making it rain. Shit. Now I'm in a better state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what side I look better on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shit, you crazy. Girl, you crazy. And here's something else too. This bitch always used to say, think about it, and I'm gonna show you the level of abuse that I was around. Like, she wouldn't have any issue to actually have me being humiliated in front of everybody. Oh yeah, she loved that. Talking bad about me, everybody, and then there it is. That's it. I don't even have to say a word. Yo, man. Yo, just keep doing you, man. Anybody out there, you know you're doing the right thing, believe in you, baby. Work, develop your inner strength. Like today, like this shit do not bother me, bro. And I'm expecting a lot more shit. I'm expecting to hear a lot of shit. I mean, I know there's a lot of detail that's gonna be crazy, bro. Ah, man, I already know they done a. Oh, listen, this is some big shit. These niggas. Like this is some, I don't know. They did a whole bunch of shit too. Working with fucking, crooked lawyers, judge. They thought they were good because they had crooked judge. You know what I'm saying? They thought they were good. Nah, man. Listen, man. They just didn't know. They didn't know. And I heard something about my okay. But because I was loving on me, I was being my best savior. I developed my inner strength. Guess what? And I'm even ready for. I know there's gonna be more shit when that shit comes out. That's gonna be even worse. I mean, because of the person that they are, because they're gonna show you who they are. So the funny thing, like I was talking about, here she is, always wanted to expose other people, especially exposing me and shit, and then there it is, exposing herself, and this is a family secret too. That been secret. A lot of these they all work together. All of them sisters, they all know the truth. Everybody kept quiet. It's an organized crime, bro. They all know it, and they all move in silence. They distance themselves, thinking I didn't see the shit. I walk in the darkness, nigga. But this is the part none of them knew that though. That's why I keep working on myself, doing my spiritual shit on the side. Nobody knew. And these stupid motherfuckers, they think magic was gonna work on me. What? You crazy. You crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they spent a lot. They're still doing that shit. They're still doing that shit. Well, because they are insane. I mean, shit. I mean, it's not hurting me. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing it. Shit. In fact, and I tell them that too. Do your worst, guys. You got to do more because I don't think you understand what's coming for you, and nothing's gonna happen to me though. You should come closer to me. You'll find out. You'll find out. I was being my best savior, accepting what was being done, accepting people for who they are, not because of their title. Because, and even in my case, their title was not even their title because I was illegally adopted. So even in Haiti, what they did, they knew people in the system. They were able to do some shit because you know what I'm saying, this is, I don't have, that's not my true last name. But anyway, I was saving myself. And when you're doing the internal work, that's why we understand your true family is not the person, let's say, you were raised with, or maybe that came in the same womb as you. It's not that. Again, it's not what it appears to be. Because at the end of the day, we are all spirit. And the way we mesh, or when we talk about twin flame, that has nothing to do, or soulmate. Two guys could be a soulmate too. You know what I'm saying? And not no gay shit. They share the same soul. That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy guys. You know what I'm saying? Um, Again, looking at this reality for what the fuck it is. Building your inner strength. Seeing value in yourself to demand values for other people. Like in my case, I couldn't tell, you know what? I know this is how you are, and I don't accept that, so I'm going my way. And I never was dependent on them anyway. And for what? There's nothing to gain. There's no wisdom. It's gossiping. It's all both. Obviously. Obviously. And not to mention, it's fucking up my life. Actually helping me. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't value me, I wouldn't see it as them helping me. Because everything they were doing, if I didn't know better, it would have bothered me though. And that was the intention behind what they were doing. But for me, that's what I'm saying. When they threw the stone, I was building a house with it. Because when it all said and done, anybody that, and that's why for me, I never look back. Because anybody that, ever, listen, there's nobody that was in my life that was necessary. If you were important in my life, you wouldn't have been here. Oh man, listen, and that's part of my transformation too. You gotta transform. You gotta let all that shit go. Old friends, nigga. If it's either you're gonna transform or you're not gonna transform. And that's what happens too to a lot of us. And this is also another part of my mission. A lot of us who have not fully developed, that's why, when you're dealing with haters, when you go back, Selena, the same thing happened to her. Good hearted, not understanding. She had sign that her aunt was fucking envy of her, but that's your auntie. She was raised. I was raised with her. She did it. She was in her own way. That Jamaican lady I was talking to, even know how many, I see pain I know pain when I see it. Trust me. And on top of my psychic ability, nigga, trust me, I see, whoo, and then she couldn't let go. That's mom. Wow. And then guess what? And this is the sad part about it. It's not even just her accepting that. The sad part about it is she doesn't understand psychologically. Her accepting that, she's going to reproduce the same thing. That's truly the sad part. I mean, the sad part about it. Because when you don't acknowledge abuse, man, you create it. Just like, you know how niggas you say, yo, my mom, she used to whoop me with everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't see it as an abuse, then you see it that's the way to raise your kid. Well, guess what you're gonna do, man? Same exact shit. How do you put an end to the fucking cycle? If you keep accepting shit like that, that's not even fucking acceptance. That's you being weak. I accepted them. Me walking away, I accept this is who they were, and this is who I am. I don't that doesn't work for me. So respectfully, I walk away. But what she's doing here, that's not accepting. That's being weak. Because you hurting from it, yet you stay. And guess what? No one put a gun on your fucking head. And that's the worst part. But that emotional, that self-conscious, that her beating on herself, that's mom, I'm supposed to take it. That's what they all say. Her mother had to say that to herself too, at one point. And guess what she's doing to her? And although she doesn't acknowledge it now, oh, nah, I'm not going to be the same with my kids. Yes, bitch, you're going to be the same. Because you accepted that. When you had the opportunity to say no. Oh, you think you're going to give her some integrity that you don't have? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, of course, that's what I was dying to say. But I seen the pain already that she was going through. I'm like, nah. She ain't ready for that at all. You know what I'm saying? This is the part you gotta learn how to bite your. Got you. That's where you at with it. Well, shit, bitch, be strong. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, man. Hey, it is what it is, man. You can't catch your pearls before swine. But going back to that whole Caribbean shit, like, is that a Caribbean shit, man? Like, what the fuck? You know, doesn't make sense. So there she is in her own being her own enemy, her worst enemy. She's her worst enemy, and because she's already her worst enemy, only then can her mother do all of that to her. But as she chooses to love herself, that would have been a no no. That's a no no, man. I mean, it's just listen, man. You came here to live your life again, and this is not me. I mean, I understand honoring your mom. In fact, I just honored her. She, you know what I'm saying? She made my life better. But in this next chapter of my life, these people don't serve me. None of them can. She was there to teach me how to love myself, and I'm grateful for it. You see, that's the Godhead mentality that you got to learn to adopt. And because I look at it this way, guess what? Anything she's already forgiven, and I don't even need to talk to her. Like she's yo, I'm not shit, nigga. I'm nigga. Let me tell you something. I'm just gonna get my money and roll out. Hey, you think I'm gonna have time to hate on people, bro? Think about it. And I win. Nate, are you crazy? Are you crazy? I have no reason to, man. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, man, in life, you win or you learn. So, but also by me having that understanding, my my senses have shifted. My DNA have shifted. Like I have, like when I tell you I have no hate in my heart for that, man. Besides, what that has to do with me too. And that's why too, like you know what I'm saying. Hey, man, if she got to listen, and I'm pressing charges too. Ooh, they have no idea. They have no idea. Yo, I'm not playing with none of these motherfuckers. Bro, I really don't give a fuck, bro. Like, it's not me. Because and I also understand this too. I hold the mirror of conscience with these motherfuckers. Come on, man. But that's your choice. I mean, how do you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if that's what you did, what that has to do with me stopping that? I can't stop that. That would be selfish of me. That would be me being just like that bitch. Oh, that's my mother. That has nothing to do with that. Because if you're saying that's your mother, I mean, don't you think your mother should know better? And I remember too, man. I remember this one time there was this lady too, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember she pulled me to the side. She said, your mom is no good. Because I remember, like, there was this kid that I used to go to school with. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, I was in Florida too at that time, right? And then there was a friend of mine. We actually went to school together, right? And then we used to, I used to, you know, we used to go to high school together. So he would actually pick me up. And I remember this one time, and her mom, like, something's not right. And ever since she told me that too, there was a lot of shit that I kept to myself. You see what I'm saying? Everything I was doing on my end, I was building my inner strength. I already knew she was not a credible person. I already knew I couldn't depend on her. All of her life instruction was bullshit, bro. This nigga, like, you know what she taught me? You know what she told me? For you to advance in life, you gotta have envy. You gotta be envy of other people. Let me say that again. I don't think you guys hear me. She said, for me to attain certain greater thing, I have to have envy and jealousy of other people. Then, in other words, she's telling me I got to learn how to compete for me to thrive. What that has to do, really? She's not saying getting myself better. I have to compete, have to envy other people. And that was the word that she used. I'm just saying competing just to get you to see what you, but the her choice of words too was envy. So it's like, yo, she got a car. How come yo, I need a car too? Because so and so got a car. Well, it really? All right. Well, anybody, go ahead. uh-uh. I don't like that food don't do me well. Yo, that kind of food, I can't. I can't digest that though. Because I always had a sense of myself. I never wanted to be like anybody, bro. I had people that I love, but never wanted to be like. I love Michael Jordan. I love all these motherfuckers I used to, you know what I'm saying? You have a little idol as a kid and shit like that you like, but never like, yo, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna dress like so and so. I never suffered that. I never had that element, my dog. I never suffered from that. I mean, that's a disease I never had. You know what I'm saying? I never had that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's almost like, well, there's no wonder why, too, I became the person that I am. Because I was always into sucking my own dick. Even when I didn't even know I was sucking my own dick. Oh, today, oh man, I did throw my own dick, nigga. I did throw that shit. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to me, yeah, did it here, nigga. I did it this. I fucked my own ass. I sucked my own dick. Yeah, I did it this. I did it all of me. You know what I'm saying? I fucked my own self up. You know what I'm saying? So, because if you don't, who will? And contrary to what a lot of people say or think, like I always tell people, man, loving yourself doesn't make you selfish like you don't love other people. That's not true. There's no actuality in that. In actuality, when you love yourself, you love other people. Because loving yourself is not just concerned with the external shit. Because the people who are selfish, the, the only concern about is the external shit. So it's not themselves. I mean, you could say themselves, but it's the external self. So they concerned with only that. Just like the bitch that she hired, even though I was helping her, giving her books and shit to read, bitch couldn't even. She probably didn't even have a high school diploma. But anyway, um, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's just crazy, man. You know, like, you know how Chris Rock said, you know what I'm saying? Give a nigga a book, like, and then this nigga wants to get all my work. You know what I'm saying? She want to let people know that she taught me that these things. Yo, when I say crazy delusional shit, this bitch wants to get credit for me. I'm not sure what part of me she helped me out with. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna still think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's something she probably taught me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, besides, of course, not dealing with hoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. I don't know how she helped me. You know, I do not know. But this is what happens too. A lot of people would be entitled, and this is fun. And she did tell me that. Like that's when I listen. I was keeping distance with a lot of these people. They didn't know. That's why this bitch. It's like you see. I'm talking about 22. Now I'm 42, right? So think like nigga. That's 22 years, right? If I call her 22 times, that would be once a year. I don't think I called her even 5 times in those 22 years. If it's 5 times, it's not even more. And this bitch knew I was in love with her. Not like I was in love. Not like, not even like I was in love. Don't worry, I'm calling you shortly. Listen, babe, you know, at night, all I see is you. Listen, I close my eyes and this is you in front of me. I love you. Now, this bitch now did tax fraud. Oh, man. Woo! Listen, those next few months or couple weeks or couple days, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, really? They did what? No, stop it. Taxes? Oh, again? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers, they're expecting me not to press charges. You know what? And I'm not. You know why? I love you. I'm in love. I'm gonna call you. Stay by your phone, baby. Yo, this shit is crazy. But anyway, going back to you know, the whole enemy stuff, guys. You know, it was more weak. She did not accept her mother. And this is where you guys got to understand the difference when you accept something. Accepting something is not weak. Like, I accept these people for who they are. They crooked, they're criminal, that's what they do. They gotta pay their dues. Like, if that was me, I would have had to pay my dues. This is accepting, this is what they do, this is what they are. I mean, who am I? Listen, what the fuck? That's what they did, bro. Like, okay, well, they missed. Guess what? Somebody gotta win, somebody gotta lose. It ain't me. And it's not gonna be me. It is what it is, bro. This is what acceptance is. And that's what power is. That's why acceptance is not weak. But what she did with her grandmother or her mother there, you know what I'm saying? Not, you know what I'm saying, knowing that she's hurting herself, but yet she's accepting the abuse. She's normalizing it. And she kept saying it to herself by saying, this is mom. And this is how she is in her own way. And there's a certain level of integrity she'll never have. And therefore, sad to say, she'll never be able to give it. She's going to do the same thing her mother's doing sooner or later. If she's not already doing it now. I'm pretty sure she is. And she's probably even going to be worse. She doesn't even know it. Because you got to be the change you want to see. If you accept her doing this to you, how you gonna bring change to her, to your daughter? Listen, I don't think I know it all, but I'm gonna live it there, guys. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? Listen, be your good savior. Save yourself, my friend. And saving yourself has nothing to do with you being selfish. In fact, when you do, you appreciate people better. Because I had respected myself because of integrity, I want to pass that on to my daughter and my son. And because I want to do that, guess what? There's a certain acknowledgement. There's a certain way I'm going to have to talk to them. There's a certain way I'm going to have to acknowledge them. That's what respect is. But I had to demand that for myself. You can only change by you being the change that you want. To the great listeners, you already know, nothing but love. I sent, Mali.